we need champions of culture because, again, one of the news bits I'd want to mention here, folks, was I don't know if you saw last week, Freetown Christiania was destroyed in Denmark. Various differing reports, but it generally seems that it was started by a decree from the local authority. This then led to some, and this has been reported both sides, so I'm not really sure. Some places have reported that residents against the space started tearing up the road and started tearing up all of the infrastructure of the space. Some other outlets report that it was people kind of taking souvenirs, kind of like the Berlin Wall, where everyone kind of took a chunk of the Berlin Wall. So there's a lot of images of people like tearing up with pickaxes and shovels and shit and taking chunks of the literal road of the Freetown section away. But yeah, I just feel like to me it's very emblematic of what is happening under legalization, in that Christiania became more violent the more legalization started to prick off around the world. Spaces like Christiania and that were kind of insular ended up with more issues because there was more demand for cannabis. Because of a failure of the system to then liberate and allow others to be free, the original hippie ethos of this place was corrupted by criminal elements. And I think it was, instead of being a beacon representing a hope for the future as it was supposed to be, as it was intended to be and ran for many decades by, very committed individuals, it became like, I don't know, the burning of the culture as an effigy to me. It feels very much a symbol, a line has been crossed. And I said this during the raids in Spain. I personally feel that the clubs in Spain are under jeopardy. I feel that most of the coffee shops in Amsterdam are under threat. I think wherever these legalization models and medical systems come in board, the culture suffers. The culture will always suffer, or rather the legacy culture, the neo culture they're creating. No, that's thriving. Those lasses, how to describe it? I don't know, like with long sort of hair, she's in her 30s. She's doing like adverts on like Instagram, and she's like a medical patient advocate, and she's doing like sign-ups to the clinics, and that's new culture. That's neo culture. Or NU culture, new culture, you know what I mean? Whereas legacy is anti-authoritarian, anti the system. We may be happy to benefit from, our script keeps us driving safe or whatever, but we're still not going to be quiet by that. You haven't shut us up. We haven't won. We're going to keep fighting and fighting until we're truly free. And I think we're going to see more and more this divergence between this, oh, you people are just spoiling the party. You're pissing on our parade. Look, I'm allowed to carry 25 grams between, I don't know, was it 7 p.m. and 8 a.m., whatever it is in Germany. Or I'm allowed to join this one club, or I'm allowed this, I'm allowed this, I'm allowed this. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm allowed to swear now, so fuck you. No, any allowing is wrong instantly. If there's anything where that same system that criminalized, vilified, demonized, and destroyed our communities for decades is the one that allows anything, we've got it wrong. They should be on their feet groveling to us. If every cannabis consumer in every country rose up and collectively unified, every political party in every territory would be kissing our ass. They'd be begging us. There'd be hundreds of thousands, millions in each region going, no more politics, lads. You fucking fix this, or nah, we'll put in one guy and we'll vote our own guy in and we'll take the system. And we'll stop any election. We'll just ship in stoners. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of power that we could yield. We're like the largest unrepresented subculture in modern society, frankly. And there's strength in numbers, people. There's strength in numbers. I don't know what we'll do when we unify, but we've got to start getting together. And 420 this week is a good time to start.
I think I say every time we have these discussions, look at the Seed Our Future logo. Truth is our sword, unity our shield. We've got the truth. Come on, people. Where's our shield of unity? Because I'm struggling doing this on my own year in, year out. We need to all come together. You've got 420 down the road. This weekend, if you're going to Hyde Park this weekend, don't just stand there in Hyde Park and smoke a spliff. Go down and march on Parliament. Start a little train of you, and just all of you go down, descend. Make a point.
We
all need to work together.
It's so difficult because for anyone that's been to Hyde Park, the volume of police that are there, and they do the same thing every year. They kick people out of the park at like 4:30, and they get the media in, and they take all the pictures of all the rubbish that the people weren't trying to leave. Most often, the cops literally march in a wall and arrest people. They grab anybody that wall hits, and they'll search you and deal with you. And it's yeah, they create again these negative optics. They create this narrative. So the one thing I will say is my public service announcement of the week. If you're going to a 420 event anywhere in the country, remember whether you like it or not, you are an ambassador for the plant. Your behavior reflects on me, reflects on Guy, reflects on every other listener, every other viewer of this content, every other cannabis consumer in the world. We are all a representation of the collective ideal. And the collective ideal is we want to be free to be unique enough. Granted, you should have the right to have your fucking two-foot joint and whatever you're up to, have your fun. But remember, you're only having that fun that day and a safe because of the sacrifices of people. I was going to say like me and you, but I guess in a way, yeah. Like if everybody else that in this space gives up the other 364 days a year to make sure you've got the right on that day. So I think it's only fair in a way. Support the movement in any which way you can. Join an organization, join a Facebook group or whatever. Share some stuff. Even just giving pages likes. Show publicly that, oh, but my mama's on Facebook and I don't want to see her like a Facebook. Like, I'm sorry. This is 2020 fucking 4. Like, we have to draw lines in this shit. You know, do you know what I mean? There's enough fucking horrific things happening in the world right now. Yet your little tiny and that awkward conversation with a parental unit or whatever, that could move the thing forward. Who knows? Your mum might be like, oh, you're 18 now, son. I've smoked weed for 20 years, boy. Let's roll up. Do you know what I mean? We need to stop self-censoring. We need to stop putting ourselves in this little fear box and going, oh, can I please? Can I please? We need to be out and proud, but in order to do that, we need to be organized. So yeah, have our fun this weekend, folks. Celebrate, but we need to prepare. We need to not rest on our laurels and let legalization work for another 365 days till we're back in another field going, yay, weed. Where will we be? What will the law be like? How much money and resource will they have to enforce their new ideals? We need to be the ones leading this conversation. I don't know under what banner. I don't know in what direction. I just know that unless we start coming together and having these conversations and recognizing in solidarity our collective goal and vision for the end of criminalization of all cannabis people, then we're not going to get anywhere. We will be spoon-fed this cancerous, poisonous, saccharinous toxin from the system, and enough of us will take it that you think we're alone now. Do you know what I mean? In the years to come, if the UK follows Germany, our support halves. Do you know what I mean? It then becomes just the radicals. But then people dip back in 5 years in legalization. I guarantee you, wait till all the Germans start getting caught up and going, I'm not going to do a German accent. Sorry, guys, I do have some German listeners. But I had 28 grams. You know, what the fuck, you know? And then, it's 3 grams over the limit. Yeah, that's a €700 fine or whatever. I don't know what the thing is. Don't take me on those numbers. But once enough of those people start to go, well, this is legalization, but I'm still criminalized. I think enough people have to be a victim to it to recognize it. But unfortunately, in most jurisdictions, you're too late.